Shalom Uvracha. This series is part of a series on Tefillah, and I would like to focus on the Heart of Our Tefillah. The heart of Shmona Esrei are the middle brachas, those 12 or 13 today brachas that are requests from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And we ask for the things we want. That's what it is. And to us, that's the point of tefillah. We all have things we want, we need, we want to request HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and that's what we do. The question, I guess, that really seems to bother us is, why do we have a fixed formula for that? Shmona Esrei, which is the core of tefillah, is an introduction, 12, 13 brachas of requests, and closing remarks, thanks, and an exit formula. Now, we understand that the introductory remarks need to be formulated for us. We don't know what are the appropriate terms to use addressing HaKadosh Baruch Hu, what are appropriate ways of praising, and so on. And we would be helpless without Chazal giving us some sense of it. That we all understand. Same thing is true with the exit remarks. It's part of a protocol. But the requests, we all know what we need. It's not always the same. It's different things that we need at different times. And we really are lost to understand why we need an exact formulation, which we have to repeat every single time exactly the way Chazal gave it to us, and so on. That's a question that we need to understand. So the series will be a Mitzvah Hashem on each one of these brachas, but this particular segment I would like to dedicate to this point of why do we need a very specific and exact formulation. Now, the point of davening itself is something that is not so clear to us. On the one hand, everyone takes it for granted that Hashem likes us, He's kind to us, He wants to help us, give us. So if we just prepare the list of what it is that we want, that would be fantastic. And this is a very simple sense of tefillah, common even to Ribbono Shel Olam. But it doesn't quite ring well. On the other hand, we have a shita, a description like Nefesh HaChaim, who speaks about only asking for tzorech gavoa, for the shechina, things of that nature. It sounds to us, it is extraordinarily far from where we are. Obviously, this is something that is only relevant to the highest and greatest neshamas. But how do we exactly understand that? What is it? I mean, it's better to ask for it, or is that only tefillah? What exactly is tefillah? That's really something that we need to define for ourselves before we can have any type of meaningful discussion about each particular one. So I would like to use a definition, a formulation that the Rabbi was one of the Gdolim in Tzfas. He was known he was that Kufa, that golden era in the 1500s with the Beis Osim, the Rizal, and all of those great people in Tzfas. He wrote a sefer on the Rambam, which is quite famous. And this sefer is called Beis Elokim. It is a sefer on Shkafa, so to speak, on fundamentals of Yiddishkeit. And one section is called Beis Tefillah, which he devotes to Tefillah. And he gives a definition for Tefillah, a very carefully crafted definition. And two of the words that he speaks about are things that he needs, and I'm going to quote, it has to be something that's nitzrach and eino b'shuso. Those are two of the words that he uses. Necessary and not possible to attain by his own actions. So let's discuss this point, because I think this will give us a very basic understanding of what it is we're doing. A person is in this world for one reason only: to achieve and accomplish what HaKadosh Baruch Hu has given him to achieve and accomplish. In the big picture of things, it is a person's own ruchnistika accomplishments, Torah, mitzvahs, etc. That's the purpose of our existence in this world. Wanting, accumulating things, getting nice things, enjoying life, if we're not referring to the mission, we're really taking time off our mission. So there is only one definition which actually describes what, and that is to do and accomplish what we're supposed to accomplish. Primarily, we're supposed to use our own efforts to accomplish it. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us talents, time, ability, energy, and we're meant to use that for that purpose. So that is up to us to do, and therefore we actually wouldn't be using tefillah for that. We would be using our own effort. That's what we're supposed to do. If a person's tefillin are in the room next door, or in the building next door, or 10 blocks away, what he's supposed to do is not sit and be mispalel for the tefillin to come his way. He's supposed to get up and make the effort and take it. That's what avodah is about. It's work, effort, and accomplishment. But if that were the only method of accomplishing what HaKadosh Baruch Hu set us to do, that's a system that would basically make us more and more feel that it really is up to us, with HaKadosh Baruch Hu sort of out of the picture. Yes, HaKadosh Baruch Hu set us in this world, gave us stuff, but from this point onwards, it's all us. It would be counterproductive, because Ikar Chas V'Naseifa, we miss HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So even in those areas where HaKadosh Baruch Hu set up the system that we need to accomplish and do, then many of the times, or all the times, we must partner with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So, I can't say, well, let Hashem do it for me, but I myself cannot do it. So we have missions also accomplish. Each mission needs many, many different tools, many different implements, talents, time, and many other things. And therefore, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us tefillah. Tefillah means that in order to accomplish what we're supposed to accomplish, we need HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So there are things, so for instance, that I put on tefillin, and the tefillin are a block away or a mile away, I need to expend the effort to get those tefillin, even if it's a bit hard. On the other hand, let's say I'm a very poor person, I can't afford tefillin, I need to reach out to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and say, please make available to me the means to have the tefillin. And this is true by everything. A person sits down to learn. We need to sit and to learn. We can't ask Hashem Baruch Hu to have it fly into our heads. But every person needs to recognize that sitting down and learning does not work unless there's Siyata D'Shmaya. And it certainly does not work to give us the sense, to give us the Asukah Shmai Zilchasa, meaning to get it right, to really understand the Baal Gemara without HaKadosh Baruch Hu helping us. So Tefillah brings that out. The Mabit, two of the words that he uses are Tzorech and Eina B'Shusa. So let's take the second word. The Eina B'Shusa means Tefillah should never substitute the things that I can do. They're not a cop-out. So let's take something, I have to build a sukkah. I cannot and should not daven that HaKadosh Baruch Hu somehow get me someone to do it. Because the reason why I'm supposed to build a sukkah is for me to use my hands, my abilities, and so on to make that sukkah. On the other hand, the word sorech, nitzrach, is a very critical word. There is much that I do not have available to me, whether it's resources, whether it's talents, whether it's siyata d'shmaya. Many things we seem to have everything needed, just doesn't go. But what does it mean I ask from HaKadosh Baruch Hu to please get me a trip to France? I'd love to have a cruise to France. Please send a cruise to France. I didn't send you for that. It's nice that you want it. Not so nice, but what's the pshat? Why would you turn to me for that? It's the same way that a person would not turn to a nadvan and ask for something frivolous. So a person asking for tzedakah would feel a bit down, but he would tell somebody, we really don't have challah for Shabbos. Could you help me? A person would feel, okay, I don't feel ashamed to ask for it. But if I tell somebody, I really feel like having a cruise to France, I'd like you to sponsor it, I think a person should be deeply embarrassed. They should be so embarrassed they couldn't ask for it. So asking HaKadosh Baruch Hu for things, HaKadosh Baruch Hu put us in this world for things. But there is so much that I need in order to do what I'm supposed to do. And I don't have it. And even the things that I have without Siyata D'Shmaya, it doesn't work. So Chazal formulated for us the needs, the appropriate way to asking. So for instance, I don't ask for lots of money. I ask for bracha, Siyata D'Shmaya, and we'll go through these particular things. So Chazal described for us 12 items that are specific needs, not desires and wants, but needs, and are unattainable without Siyata D'Shmaya. And therefore, we define these needs, and then we also express it in a way that expresses this point. So, for instance, when we speak in Nefesh HaChaim about the Shechina and so on, Shechina doesn't need anything. It's not that Nefesh HaChaim doesn't mean Chas v'Shalom himself. Right? The Shechina is not in need of anything, and Tzar Shechina, all these things. To imagine the Shechina as what it means is HaKadosh Baruch Hu has expressed that He wants certain things out of us. That's been expressed. It's in all of Torah. Those things that He wants out of us require our input and HaKadosh Baruch Hu giving us the tools, the means, the opportunities, and more than anything else, the Siyata D'Shmaya. That is the core of Tefillah. It's an integral part of Avodas Hashem, and it's giving us what's needed to perform the Avodas Hashem that Hashem wants. So when we're davening, we're talking about saying, Ribbono Shel Olam, you sent me here, placed me here for a purpose. I want to do what you want me to do. These are the items that I am missing and that I need you to bestow upon me so that I do what it is that you want for me to do. Mitzvah Hashem, and we will go through the brachas, through those middle brachas, and get a sense of what each bracha is expressing in terms of needs.